What's up? What's up? Hello, motherfuckers. So today I'm not doing a roll-up video. This is actually a story time. Um, and I think I'm going to name this story time. The time I used a Ouija board with my ex. Okay, so I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a background. I'm going to try to make this around a 10-15 minute video. I want to keep y'all attention, and so I'm trying not to make the video too long. All right, so I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a background. I was dating him between the years of 2000, into 2007 through 2008. It was probably like 2008, 2009, into 2007 through 2009. Okay, so I'm a widow now, but at the time I was legally married. My husband was in jail. That's neither here nor there, though, and we kind of had an open kind of like agreement that well, I was open with him. I don't know that it was an agreement because I'm sure that no man wants their wife dating anyone else, but it was known. I made it known. I didn't hide it that I was dating him. I also let the guy that I was dating, my ex, I'll call him JG. I also let him know the whole situation. So my husband knew about JG and JG knew about my husband. And it was an understanding between me and JG that when my husband came home, I would continue our relationship. Okay, my husband knew about this and so did JG. So, all right, now let's get to the story. Now, me and JG, the chemistry was awesome. Like, no arguments. Like, we were like damn near infatuated with each other. No arguments. Like, we were in each other's heads. We can complete each other's sentences. But in my mind, I'm protecting, I'm keeping myself safe, my heart safe, but I'm still kind of getting into like a real good relationship with this man. And it was good, you know? So in the midst of us dating, we got this idea to use a Ouija board. His dad had been primarily MIA his whole life. He thought maybe that he had passed away, but wasn't sure. There wasn't a lot of history behind his dad or whatever. So we got this idea to play with the Ouija board. We went to Toys R Us, scooped up a Ouija board, and that evening we proceeded to play with the Ouija board. First of all, we didn't open the board correctly. We had no idea what we were doing. So we sat down, we asked a few questions, nothing happened. You know, there's certain ways you're supposed to play the Ouija board, and I don't remember playing it any way that it was recommended. And before I continue, I don't condone playing with Ouija boards. I don't condone anything that has to do with that type of paranormal, black magic type, witchcraft type, voodoo type activities. I don't recommend it. It is not a good idea. So I don't condone that on here. Just because you hear it in my story time doesn't mean you can go out and try and see what happens when you do it. Okay, so back to the story. So we ended up playing with the Ouija board. Nothing outstanding happened. Now, let's move on to the days following, though. Slowly, our relationship became strained. Arguments where there were never any before about minuscule things. And I started to think that maybe, it was the stress of it getting close to the time my husband coming home, and our little situationship would end. And I kind of chalked it up to that, you know. Then after there, certain things started happening in the apartment. We would wake up in the middle of the night, and it would sound like somebody was dragging something upstairs in the apartment over us, like dragging, like thumping, dragging. And we could never figure out what it was. We never saw the upstairs neighbor. We never heard anybody upstairs before. So, the energy in the house was just, in the apartment, was just evil, guys. We could no longer get along. The noises that we were hearing were so often that we couldn't even sleep in the bedroom. We moved our mattress to the living room. JG would become aggressive at the drop of a dime, not towards me, but the perfect example, we were at Burger King and I ordered onion rings with my meal, and they gave me French fries instead. When he went in there to exchange my French fries for onion rings, he was furious. He was furious. I mean, he came out the Burger King and like kicked the trash can. You know how those fast food trash cans are concrete. They have concrete on the outside, and there's like a metal trash can on the inside. He kicked that outside of that trash can so hard that the concrete broke, guys. And I'm just like, I'm getting a little weary of it because, wow, I never seen him so aggressive. He was always so polite. He was raised by women. He has a twin sister, so he was always like, and he's a New Yorker, and those New York men have awesome personalities. Like, they're very respectful to women, especially the women in their family, and they carry that on into their relationships. And I feel like that's how he was. But after playing with that Ouija board, guys, things change. So let's fast forward through to this particular night where it got really scary, because the noise was so loud that we called the police to check on our neighbor upstairs to see what was going on. It was just crazy. Like, the noise was like, we just knew bodies were dropping. It just sounded weird, So the police came and they went up to the neighbor's door. They were knocking, and we heard an old lady from where we were, because we were standing just downstairs in the hallway. So finally, after minutes of knocking on the door, the lady finally opened the door. And the officers, went in to talk to her and came back down to us and explained that there was just a frail old lady upstairs with just a couple pieces of furniture, which were the chair that she sat in and the bed in her room. And he said, even if there was furniture or anything up there to speak of that was movable or able to make that noise, she was not able to make that noise. She was frail. Very, very frail old lady. So I was like, what? We were like, are you sure? Because we cannot sleep in our bedroom because of the noise. And the officers were like, there's nothing up there, or no way that we could figure out that, what that noise was coming from, because she was not able to make that noise, guys. Even if she had substantial furniture in her house, they said she just physically did not look like she could do it. So that scared me really, really bad. And I'm not even sure at the time we related it to the Ouija board, because nothing happened that particular night. And all of his mood changes and the changes in our little situationship, it was so gradual that we didn't I did connect it to the Ouija board. But looking back and the events during and after, I know it was the Ouija board. I know it was the Ouija board. The night that our situationship finally ended, it was pretty bad. We had a minuscule argument. I can't remember what it was about. That's how insignificant it was. But in my mind, it's like my husband's going to be home in a couple months. This is my opportunity just to leave. And as I was doing that, he was really, really aggressive towards me and my belongings. He actually basically punted my dog out the back door. As he was kicking some of my items out of the door, he bruised my leg with one of the items. The police were called, and they just helped me escort my stuff out the house. And I was done with him from that day on, guys. But definitely, I believe that dabbling with that Ouija board was it was the cause of like the rapid demise in our friendship and our situationship. I think it caused it to get bad really fast, and I don't recommend anyone playing with the Ouija board. And there's things that happened in my life personally after that I believe were connected to that, because I dabbled with the Ouija board. Things like just being not content in my own life. Then that was the beginning of addiction for me with opiates. There was just a lot going on in my life, and I feel like that affects the way that has a lot to do with what I was using to seek answers, to feel complete in my life. But I definitely learned my lesson, and I hope you guys take this story time and apply it to your life. Faith in God is all you need, okay? You don't need to resort into sketchy practices to have hope and be content in your life. So that's my story time about when I used the Ouija board. Really spooky, because I don't know how that old lady was making all that noise up there. I don't believe she was. So it was just a lot that was happening in those weeks following the use of the Ouija board. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoy my story time. If you want me to tell your story time, email me at Elizabeth Walker Johnson 4193@gmail.com, and I'll tell your story time anonymously. You can even make a fake email, and I'm going to speak as it happened to me. So I will tell your story as if it happened to me. I will say I and me. It's going to be anonymous. I won't use any real names. You don't have to tell me any real names. So I want to kick this new content out so that I don't have to put age restrictions on my account. I can get more viewers and subscribers, and it'll help my channel thrive. So if you guys want me to tell your juicy story times, paranormal story times, funny story times, sad story times, or you just want to spill the tea without being the one spilling the tea, I'll do it for you. Hit me up at Elizabeth Walker Johnson 4193 at gmail.com. I'm going to leave it in the description, and I'll spill your tea and tell your juicy story time for you. All right, guys. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Don't forget to email with your juicy stories. All right. Bye-bye.